Welcome to Agba's Epic Tales. The title of today's story is
Malam Adamu and the Merchant's Magic. Once upon a time, in a certain village, lived a rich man called Malam Adamu. Malam Adamu owned multiple large stores where he sells various expensive fabrics and other accessories. Many people from far and wide comes to buy from Malam Adamu, and so he makes so much money. However, despite how rich Malam Adamu was, he was not happy with his status. He wanted to be the richest of all the men in the village. In his village, there was also another rich man named Alhaji Danjuma. Alhaji Danjuma is a goldsmith who deals in the business of pure refined gold. Alhaji Danjuma was considered the richest of all the men in the village, and this is what annoys Malam Adamu. I want to be the most richest of all the men in this village for as long as I live. No one else but only me, Malam Adamu said to himself. And so he traveled to a distant village to meet a magician. He had heard of the story of the magician who has magical powers to grant men anything they want. The magician would help me, and I will be the most richest man in my village and probably in the whole world by the time I return, Malam Adamu said to himself as he journeyed. At last, he got to the magician's hut and told the magician what he wanted. You don't have to be the most richest in your village. You are wealthy and can afford everything and anything you want. You should be happy and content with that because you are blessed already and you should be grateful to God, the magician advised Malam Adamu. But Malam Adamu would not listen. I want more, and that is to be the most richest man as long as I live, he replied. The magician could sense that Malam Adamu was ungrateful and greedy, so he decided to teach him a lesson. Very well then, I will let you get what you desire, but first you will have to find a bead called the Merchant's Magic. It has the power to grant your wish, the magician told Malam Adamu. Where and how can I find this merchant's magic? Malam Adamu asked. To find the merchant's magic, you must cross the first river you will find as you enter the next village after this one. In the other side of the river, you will find a cave. Look into the cave. There, you will find the merchant's magic. It is a bead. Put the bead around your neck and follow the instructions that comes from the bead thereafter, the magician informed him. Malam Adamu was happy and okay with this information, and he started his journey again. At last, he got to the cave and found the bead. He took the bead and wore the bead as the magician instructed. Soon, he heard a voice. If you must be rich beyond what you have now, you must first be poor again for another 15 years, after which you will become as rich as you desire. Malam Adamu realized that the voice came from the bead on his neck. "No, I don't want to be poor at any time. Just make me more wealthy and the richest of all men," Malam Adamu replied. "That is the only way," the voice said again. "To be as rich as you desire, you must be poor for another 15 years, after which your wish shall be granted." "Then I must leave, 'cause you can't help me," Malam Adamu said. "It is too late, my friend. You have no choice and cannot turn back now. I always carry out my work for anyone who places me around their neck. Either they agree to my condition or not," the voice said. And before Malam Adamu could say another word, he found himself back in his village. Malam Adamu realized that everything he had vanished. All his shops and the goods in it were no more. All the money in his safe boxes were all gone, and his beautiful and expensive clothes became rags. His houses were burnt to ashes and nothing remained. Malam Adamu wondered how all of this happened in such a short time. Soon he was in the streets with no house, money, and no food. He started starving and decided to beg for food. Only few people was generous enough to give him very little food, and even these few people were other beggars who had took pity on him. Malam Adamu realized that he had wanted to be the most richest of all men, but rather he is now the most poorest man. He regretted his greed. He was doing quite very well before. If only he had just been content with his former status and had not sought for more. And soon he could not endure the sufferings anymore. It has just been only 1 year and it is this bad. I may die in a worse condition than this, even before the 15 years completes. And with these thoughts, Malam Adamu decided to commit suicide. He took a rope and headed for the bush. When he got to the bush, he tied the rope to a tree. And as he was about to put the rope around his neck, a bird on top of the tree which he had tied his rope spoke to him. "Foolish man you are. If I were you, I would beg for forgiveness, and just maybe you might get back your riches. If you end your life, you will suffer the more," the bird said to him. Malam Adamu realized that the bird was right. He had never even thought of begging for forgiveness. And so, he begged for forgiveness and one more chance to be just as half as rich as he was before, and he would be grateful and not complain. Immediately he said those words, he woke up. He looked around and realized he was still in the cave. Oh, it had all been a dream, he realized. Immediately, he stood up, removed the bead from his neck, and ran out of the cave and headed right back to his village. When he got to his village, he found out that all he has were still there. He had not lost anything. He was grateful and decided to stop complaining and envying Alhaji Danjuma. He became content with what he has and realized how blessed he is. Even he started to help other people who were not as privileged as he is. Indeed, the magician had decided to teach him a lesson. The bead showed him what was to happen to him in future if he decided to go ahead with his quest for becoming the most richest. The moral of this story is that we should be content and always grateful for what we have, as greed and pride is a bad thing. I hope you enjoyed this story. What other moral lesson can you learn from the story? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. See you in our next video. Bye.